And you're tuned into the Combat Jack Show, www.pncradio.fm. What up, Dallas Penn?
Combat Jack, how you doing, brother?
Yo, man, it's been a while since you've been in this booth.
Man, listen, it feels like a month of Sundays.
Yo, you were gone for like 2 weeks?
I was gone for 2 weeks, and in my 2-week absence, what happened with y'all dudes?
A lot happened, man. A lot has happened in
like
in
implosion.
Your
what's going on? I mean,
it's just motion, man. When you have motion, you have reaction. B. That's a great tan you got, man.
Thank you, brother.
You went to St. Martin's?
St. Martin.
How was St. Martin's, man?
St. Martin is fantastic. St. Martin's is beautiful. Did the Dutch side a lot. The French side has some awesome beaches. Actually, I like the dollar on the Dutch side better than the dollar on the French side. You know, but St. Martin, man.
What about the incident that happened at your hotel before you got there?
Yeah, that was kind of crazy, man. Some couple got murked. Stabbed up, brutally stabbed. Oh! Yeah. Lady was tied up, husband was stabbed up. And when I came to the resort, the incident happened across the way from where we were staying.
In the same corridor?
In the same right on a little strip. The resort is, this enclosed area.
Now, was it internal or was it had they been hijacked by pirates?
No, apparently some local dude who knew they kept a lot of paper, tried to put the squeeze on him and then jump back to Jamaica. Some wild.
He got away?
Wild loss. No, he didn't get away.
Oh, they got his ass.
Dallas, we got a call about it though. Apparently, you were suspected at one point, and we told them that you were just a game you play called Dead Black Lady, and everything is all right.
I got to tell you something though. I told the people running the resort, I'm like, yo, I'm seeing ghosts.
See, that would be my biggest fear though, man. Like a murder just took place.
Yo, when I told them I saw ghosts, you
said that?
I said that shit.
You got the discount?
You said that.
I said that. I literally told them. I said, listen, I don't know what's going on, but I'm seeing ghosts. There's no one wanted to talk about the murder. Right across from where we're staying, they got forensic tape on the damn door.
Damn.
And I told him, I said, listen, you return your towels and you get a new set of towels to go on the beach. And I told her, I said, I'm seeing ghosts. And she was she was real quiet. DP, you know where you failed? I was like, I'm seeing ghosts. And she's real quiet. A good, proper West Indian woman, when you tell them that you're seeing ghosts.
Seen a duppy.
They take that shit serious.
I've seen a duppy.
So she just looked at me real silent, real quiet. I said, I'm seeing ghosts. And then I broke out and laughed, and she was like, you could see her whole, the weight come off, because she was about to just leave the office fuck it, I'm not coming back to work.
But I'm sure she also got some training, too, from management. Don't talk about this.
First of all,
don't register any type of emotion.
That's fine. But when somebody says ghosts, that's for Jamaican. No, I'm sorry, not Jamaican. Just West Indian people in general.
Right.
That's a big deal.
That's
look at Juve. Look at the night before they have Carnival, West Indian Day Parade in New York. We run around.
They try to conjure the ghosts.
We run around doing Juve. We throw powder on each other. You go out and you stab people.
Yeah, shoot a few people.
You know what I mean? So
bring some ghosts right out.
Ghosts is the one thing. West Indian people don't care about nothing.
They don't fuck with ghosts.
Ghosts.
Well, a lot of things has gone on, man, in your absence.
What is going on, Combat?
Well, first and foremost, I want to congratulate everybody who made it on the this year's Source Digital Power 30 list.
So not us.
I mean, no.
The funny thing is, Source doesn't even make it on the Digital Power 30. Source is. I read the list. Source quoted a couple of websites that don't even fucking
have them on their blog.
No, I mean,
listen,
I definitely
we could have all been on that list if you were still the editor, Combat.
No, he was never the editor. He was the intern for the summer.
Yeah, I was the managing editor. And when I was there,
Londell McMillan's weed carrier.
I didn't want to be, exactly. I didn't want to be doing anything that seemed kind of like, you know how the history of that magazine.
Right.
So,
right.
But, once again, I just felt that it was my responsibility and my honor to say congratulations to all
that made the list.
All that made that list.
Yes. I got to tell you real quick. They put rapgenius.com on that list.
Oh, word.
Okay, so I went to the Rap Genius headquarters to see what they were about. My good brother Rafi Cam brought me in to show me around and introduce these guys to me.
Right.
Rafi can smell Fuckyberg, but he was like, yo, Dallas, smell this shit and tell me if it's Fuckyberg. Because it smells like Fuckyberg.
Right.
So I happen to run into Mayhem Loren and Action Bronson there. Dudes from Rap Genius have these guys in there, doing their thing, writing lyrics, writing down lyrics to their songs. And why they call Mayhem Loren Smoke Dizza?
They call him Smoke Dizza?
I was
on
like,
the site?
No, right there, all of us together. We're right there together. They're like, yo, we got Smoke Dizza right here.
I don't think I've ever been on Rap Genius. What is Rap Genius?
But wait, but is this before they got $15 million?
Listen, they
Is Rap
already
Genius-
had the money.
Right.
Okay? They're rich. They already have the money.
So coming into the game with hip hop and money is Fuckyberg shit, you're saying?
They're Fuckyberg shit because they're coming into the game like, yo, we're going to take this shit over.
Right, with backing.
Yeah, like
Well, they didn't have their number 2 pencils. They're not even putting the right people, out there.
Who gives a fuck about what this thing, where it
Means.
comes from, what it means?
Translation.
We're going to take this shit over. Right. We're going to, become big. We're going to become the shit.
But you know what? They're on the list.
They got $15 million. Think about it this way.
Congratulations to them. They're on the list.
If someone gave us $15 million and you had somebody like Dallas saying this shit, I'd be like, fuck him. Because we just got $15 million.
What do you mean? You be saying fuck you to...
No, meaning like, these
Rap
guys...
Genius would
Rap
say
Genius
fuck
is
them,
basically
yeah.
like, all right, listen...
People would hate on us, you're saying.
I just started my boat. You know
but
what I mean?
people will be hating on us is what you're saying.
No, not hating, just really not paying attention. For some reason, sometimes I feel like money... Sometimes people don't pay attention when they income some source of
Man,
that.
if we had 15 million, B, I'd have like...
You would probably give us like $100 and you take like...
100,000.
What?
100,000.
Yo, DP.
But before or after taxes?
But first of all, remember, Combat's got 8 children.
4.
That he knows.
No, but this, it's
He'll
funny,
buy more children with the money.
It's funny that we're talking about
Up
that
to
because
8.
if we got 15 million, man, I'd love to put that shit into a set. Like a studio set where we can tape this show every week and broadcast that shit ourselves. Fuck everybody.
With the air
else, man.
conditioning.
With the air conditioning and the whole nine, the cameras that float in the air, all of that shit, man.
NEWMANTi.
But what I was trying to say, speaking on that, is last week we had some folks from Hollywood in here.
That's why I'm wearing my sunglasses right now.
We had some folks from Hollywood.
I understand the show went Hollywood,
and they tried to go Hollywood. And before last week's episode, they suggested that we bring in Melissa Ford because she's a recognizable name and she's a pretty face. So they came in here. We had cameras all around. It for some reason got heated, man. Like off air, man. A King was screaming on Matt Raz and Ben Hameen, and
True.
Beef.
On air, Pete called RZA a magical Negro. I mean, it just went crazy. It was crazy
Toby.
last week. But I spoke to the Hollywood people today, man, and I was like, what do you guys think? And they said, yo, we love you guys. You guys were perfect. Everybody was animated. Even off air, we love that you guys are so passionate. The only thing that we didn't like about it was Melissa Ford.
Oh.
And I was like, well, at least we, and no
she
shots-
brought the effed up energy.
Well, I don't think she brought effed up energy.
That big booty.
Yo, first
That
and
was
foremost,
beautiful energy.
she was sitting in your seat. So all throughout the last week's episode, I was like, she's pretty in the face and she's real petite, right? But I didn't see her booty until after the show. And when she got up and walked,
Like
I
pow.
was like, yo, oh my God. Like, this is what people pay
I couldn't
money
get up for about 10 minutes when she walked by because I was ashamed to get up because
you
something
were
was going on.
Impaled?
Pete was in the bathroom looking for a Garnier Fructis bottle.
Yeah.
but I did appreciate her because I thought she was sweet. I thought she might have been intimidated by all the strong, personalities that were in here. And
Thirst.
she definitely was thirst for RZA. So, but I appreciate her for coming through.
Somebody,
Wow, that was
hold
dry
up,
snitching a
hold
little
up,
bit.
hold up. Somebody wrote
What do you mean
somewhere.
dry snitching?
I mean,
she was saying that on air.
Somebody wrote somewhere
She
on the
was
comments.
Hold up, she was swooning on air. I'm not dry snitching.
Yeah, no, that's true indeed.
She was like saying, "Oh my God, I've never been around somebody so intelligent. I don't know what to say." She said that on air.
Yes,
Yo,
Y'all motherfuckers gonna stop saying that I'm
don't
dry
listen to him.
snitching.
That was a
You gotta
bad
stop dry
dry
snitching.
snitching.
No,
first.
Combat, you do be dry.
He does. Yo, comment.
So anyway, like I was saying, they liked us. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I think we all deserve a round of applause. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're moving.
Slow clap.
Who's gonna let the Hollywood have sex with him?
Who's gonna take one?
Premium?
I got this.
Premium?
But not John Travolta style.
I mean, how you gonna do it? You gonna
I'm
you gonna put some
gonna
baby
here.
powder on a spoon for one of these Hollywood guys? What are you gonna do? You gonna do it?
Listen, let me tell you something.
You gonna do it?
There is nobody's touching his tuckus. No.
I'm not saying.
I'm gonna take one for the team.
I'm not saying let anyone touch your tuckers. I'm saying put some baby powder in a spoon. All right, and
Yeah.
suck some.
What are you talking about?
Like you don't have to let anyone touch you.
But you could
sexually.
But somebody could suck a man's breast for the team.
What?
No. First of all, the farthest I'll go is I'll bang a heifer.
And
that's the farthest I'll go.
You won't twist an old man's nipple.
Hell, listen, the furthest I'll go is I'll take the fat chick out of the crew. Okay, I'll take the fat chick for
Pete. You won't get in the hot tub with Barry Weissner?
Or Gary?
Hell no.
Or Gary Reisman?
Who did that fucking 360 dude?
Stop. No shot.
No, speaking of Gary, is he going to join the marketing side of the combat?
We got to talk to him. We got to talk to him. It's kind of weird, man. You know, I think as we move forward, man, we all feel that we're going places. And the other day I was up in Sirius. Somebody invited me up there to talk about some shit. I wasn't on anybody's show, but I was attending a couple of people's shows, like a well-known personalities and DJs and the whole nine. And what I noticed was throughout the whole show, man, like the main personality was just pushing buttons like a fucking monkey. No shots at anybody, but they were just pushing buttons. And then his whole team, they were just like, you know, going through the routine, and like during the breaks, they were like, we fucking hate it here. I fucking hate it here. Shit is boring, B. It's the worst shit, man. I fucking hate it here. And everybody was complaining, B. And these are cats that are on the payroll.
Right. But do you believe that, though? Do you believe they really hate it?
You know, it was the energy, B. It was like, I mean, it was the energy. You understand what I'm saying? It was like they had no energy in the room.
I mean, because there is no smiling in this industry.
I mean, we smile all the time.
That's why we don't make shit.
We smile
That's
all the time.
That's why we don't make no dough.
And what kind of made me depressed is like everybody in the building was like, yo, we fuck with your show. When are y'all coming to Sirius? When are y'all coming to Sirius? So the more people said that, the more depressed I was feeling, because I was like, yo, people really like us. But the institution that's that radio entity, they don't fuck with us.
Yeah.
And to prove my point, at the end of me being up there, I ran into the guy that runs the shit. And it's kind of fucked up, because for the past 2 years, ever since I caught the radio bug, I've been kissing his ass and sending him every episode of the issue, and like,
you're not kissing his ass.
Every episode of the show, and like, hey man, how do you like this episode, and how you like that episode, and I'm playing the game, you know what I'm saying? So he sees me, and he's like, hey man, how you doing? Are you on your way out? Let me walk you down. And 2 minutes after I left him, I was standing in the front of Sirius on the street. Like, this motherfucker really walked me out of the building. And I was like, yo, he really doesn't fuck with us, B.
Yeah.
And as much as I've been kissing their ass, they don't fuck with us.
I'm glad you're going to stop.
So, I've decided to stop kissing ass and being political. And we're starting to get attention from other places.
It's time to revive that Sirius funeral we talked about several years ago. We talked about a funeral for terrestrial radio, for satellite radio.
Well, I don't want to call for. You see, I'm still trying to be political, because we do have allies, certain allies that are still over at Sirius. So I don't want to call for their funeral yet.
Yo, hold on for a second, Conrad. I gotta just say, like, yo, honestly, we need to have those little like CIA microphones so that Matt Rass could feed me. Some of these one-liners, because the idea is that you're gonna stop kissing ass of Sirius and start sucking the breast.
sucking their man breast. Is that what it is?
Oh man, come on! I'm
not sucking enough Sirius breast.
No. We should have been stopped fucking with them.
Stop fucking with them, right?
Yeah. Once I knew that they wasn't fucking with me.
You've been telling me for the past 2 years they not fucking with us, or they not fucking with me. They might not be fucking with you.
I know they're not fucking with me.
But I know it's official, they are not fucking with us right now. That motherfucker walked me out.
Make sure you didn't steal anything.
Within 5 minutes. No, I don't. I just think he was uncomfortable or whatever. But I've never been treated so poorly like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't invited there.
You were shown the door.
I was shown the door.
Did he go right back up afterwards? Like, or was he on his way out to get coffee?
I started walking down Times Square, and then somebody else from Sirius was like, yo, you were in the building? Come on up. So I went back in.
Thirst.
I went back in because I was invited back in.
Well, you finally felt invited.
Yeah, man, but I was invited in the first place.
Was it a white guy that invited you?
Was it a janitor at Sirius?
It was a white guy that invited.
And the guy who brought you down was white guy?
No,
too?
it was a black fucking guy.
Fuck! You own kind?
Hey.
But
Stop banging on the console.
And I know why the black guy brought you out.
Why?
Because, man, that's the classic cracker syndrome. The cracker was the guy who had the whip in his hand.
Right.
Most times it was a white guy who had the whip in his hand, but every now and then a big plantation they could put the whip in the hands of a black.
A very loyal and obedient.
And that black would crack that whip harder
with vindication
than any white had ever cracked it. Because he really hated himself. He really hated what he had become. All right, so the black cracker, cracked that whip on you. Because he probably hates what he has become.
So this is what you're reading in that transaction.
I'm just saying that the black cracker.
I'm just saying they walked me out of that building with the quickness.
I'm saying you got the whip cracked on you.
I got the whip cracked on me. Now, while you were gone also, man, we had some tension internally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been reading the... First of all, I want to give a shout out to all the listeners and the writers, people that write comments on the site and Twitter and the whole
What site is that?
TheCombatJackShow.com.
Yes, sir.
TheCombatJackShow.com. And people have been like, yo, man, when are you going to stop beefing with Premium Pete? The shit is getting tired. Leave Pete alone.
Pete has a lot of loyal followers.
Or Pete, shut the fuck up. Like, what I'm saying? It goes back, but, people have been saying...
Well, Pete can be polarizing.
Dead this shit. Pete is definitely very polarizing. And I decided, man, like, I think we're at this critical juncture, man, where we're going to see a difference in terms of where we are. The spaceship is finally taking off. And I definitely want everybody to be on the spaceship, man. And I think last week emotions ran so high, man, that the scuffling that me and Pete do in the booth actually spilled out onto Twitter and became like a public fight. It's so public to the point that
Just Blaze
is in the building. What's up, Just?
What are you in the Marines today? What the fuck is
Sergeant Pepper today?
Sergeant Blaze?
Sergeant Pepper, Sergeant
Parade Rest.
It's the little soldiers from the Nutcracker.
Pause.
No more pause.
I couldn't help it. I'm thirsty for it. It's been a while.
So the fight got so ugly with me and Pete, man, that I had somebody from like a major publication hit me. It was like, yo, is this some brother shit or this some real beef? And I was like, it's both. I mean, we don't pull punches here.
Right.
We're very honest here. We're very transparent.
And it can spill out into other public forums.
Exactly. And my experience, as long as I've been in this industry, is when you start to cover up, that's when the cancer starts to fester. Wow. That's the beginning of the end. You know what I'm saying? When you try to play that shit off. So I was like, yo, man, we're about to go down to A3C. You know what I'm saying? We're getting some looks from television and the whole nine. Not that any of those things are etched in cement, but we see things moving. People are really taking note of us. And I was like, you know what? I talked the talk. Now it's time for us to walk the walk. So we got a therapist in here tonight. I invited a therapist over. You know what I'm saying? So, like, let us get through our differences. Because at the end of the day, we all see the same thing. We all want to get to the other side, but I don't want to implode.
I got to tell you something.
What?
If ODB had a therapist, a frequent therapist, he might still be with us today.
You think so?
I think if DMX, I think a lot of black men.
Right. And women.
And olive men. And
Caucasian.
Gingery men. Okay. Men with Blaxican hair, men with blackanese hair.
Men with golden retriever beards.
Yes. Men with
bowl cuts.
Men with fancy dreads that are ready to be manicured.
Men with large bank accounts.
Yes.
Men with no bank account.
Yes. Men balding.
Men with neon
balding fathers.
Glasses.
Anyway, basically,
yes.
You're saying that there's a huge segment of our population that would benefit if they were open to therapy.
Yes.
And
I went to therapy once as a kid.
Really, once.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was cool to be crazy.
One session.
You need more. You need therapy now.
So I just went
you need active therapy right now.
You went for a joke.
I made up things. Like, I have an imaginary friend. His name is Motron Jumbo.
Come on, Just.
And they're like, interesting.
So you went for one session.
Sound like a real name.
And what was the result of that session?
They were like, "Oh, your kid is fine."
Yeah, he's good. He's just got an active imagination.
He's like, I think he just wants to be here.
Right.
You know what it was? There was a family member who was going, and I used to go with them sometimes. So I'm like, I was just curious as to what it was. So I made up a bunch of crazy nonsense so that I could just go in there and see what was going on. And then I was like, oh, this is all it is. You're just talking. All right, never mind.
But did you ever think, like, in your professional life that you would like to bounce some of your ideas or thoughts or concerns off?
I mean, my gut with, or not my gut, but my feeling with therapy and going to see somebody. For some people, they genuinely need it.
Right.
I feel like for the most part, in my experience with other people who have gone and having conversations with them, they pretty much tell you what you already know. You just need somebody else to tell you.
Right.
which some people do need that.
Right. Validation.
Yeah, validation of your opinions, validation of your thoughts and your stances. Sometimes advice, but a lot of times it's advice that you need to do,
right.
but you need to hear from somebody else. And some people definitely do need that. In my professional career, I don't necessarily think that there's times where I've missed that as much as maybe more so I've had moments where I would say, I wish my pops was still around. So I could, because there's certain things that I used to see as a kid that I didn't understand then, that I understand now as an adult, having to be responsible for people and for a household and things of that nature. So it's more so at times where I wish I could be like, yo, I get it now.
Right.
So then really, I mean, but don't you use somebody now? I think, don't we all kind of use somebody as a sounding board or a confidant?
We all need that at times.
You know, it's funny, man, because, Chris and I went to Reverend Run's house yesterday, and we were talking about
Whoa.
What do you mean, whoa?
Pete, you can't be invited to everything.
All right.
Trust me, that one wouldn't have worked yesterday. Maybe down in the future, but it wouldn't have worked yesterday.
What do you mean? You brought a white guy there?
No, he brought me there.
Oh, okay, so see,
he brought me there.
See, that's the shit. See, okay.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's. So anyway, though, but we were talking, and one of the things that Run was talking about was like the great influence he had from his father, and now being the head of a household, sometimes I question myself because I didn't have a father figure in my household. You know what I'm saying? So some of the answers that you might have gotten just when you were growing up, I didn't have. I'm still trying to figure those things out.
Right.
So I definitely consider myself an open, willing and open candidate for therapy. But then some of the shit that happened last week and throughout, the run of the show, I was like, let's clear the air. Right. Let's clear the air, all the bullshit.
What all happened last week? Because I was stuck on taping.
I mean, I don't want to rehash it because I don't want the listeners to say that I'm bringing shit up. But in a nutshell, we had RZA here last week, right?
Right.
And throughout the conversation, Pete were like, "Oh, you're like a magical Negro."
Right.
No, I refer. Wait, hold up. Just so the internet don't get confused, or just how Dallas always refers to you.
I was going to say Dallas.
But you know what? It's really. I'm not going to get into it right now fully like that, but maybe it's not my context to say that. But I just, as you guys say, just Blaze is, he is. Because he started talking about, the guy is very talented,
very
smart, and he has all these crazy things that he spoke about, and that's when I referred that.
So when he referred, the RZA was like, because RZA was cool as fuck, baby.
Right.
Motherfucker was on cloud 9.
Yeah.
Like he's so fucking deep. I'm still trying to decipher through that interview. But when the words magical Negro came out of Premium's lips, he was like, excuse me, what did you mean by, what did you refer by the word Negro?
So then I kept on switching. on him, and then he was like, all right, I know from my heart that he's seen that, like, I wasn't being like,
of course,
like that,
disingenuous or whatever. But it still caught him off.
DP spoke to me, and he made a good point. When it comes out of context sometimes, and it's not within the realm of things.
Circle,
So the next day, I was like, I wasn't coming down on Pete. I was trying to hype the episode.
Right.
So I was like, yo, I was tweeting, I can't believe Pete called RZA a magical Negro.
Right.
So I guess Pete, you felt that I was calling you out.
Not because sometimes you tweet stuff and then you give an open audience to come at me.
No, I
don't like, because then they're like, "Oh, why'd you say that?"
But I can see that, because they're. I don't mean to cut you off. They're hearing it out of context.
Can I stop you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Are you on the clock?
Let's introduce you the very next segment. I want to introduce you in the very next segment. Our therapist is in the building.
I already have a problem with our therapist.
Why?
Yeah.
She's too fine.
She's too fine?
No, I cannot. I had a fine therapist one time and I really couldn't open up. Because it was like I know once I open up, I'm going to ruin all chances I have.
Yeah. So let me wrap this up. Let's jump to a music break. So
You too fine. I was
like, yo, Pete, like, that was cool, but you shouldn't say that. So Pete was like, I'll say basically whatever I want to say.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, but you shouldn't say whatever you want to say on my show.
Right.
And he was like, well, you can be alone on your show.
Now you were doing this just to hype things up.
Until it got.
Well, I just felt like, and I was telling, just referring, when sometimes like people say things like Like, I just feel like, in a sense of, like, I never say derogatory things, especially against black culture. I don't, you know what I mean? I mean, I feel like, I'm that olive dude, you know, all these years. So the point I'm just making is that I didn't mean it like that. And when he said, I felt like he was like, I could say because I'm black and you can't.
You know what? Let's do this.
And I'm not trying to do that, but I felt like he was ha-ha.
Last thing I'm going to say is Pete said, well, we call Just Blaze a magical Negro. And I was like, no, we don't. Dallas does.
True.
And then that's where it ended up. So let's do this.
Okay.
Internets. Let's go to a music break. You tuned into the Combat Jack Show, www.pncradio.fm.
F your radio.
And when we resume,
F your radio.
We're going to all hold hands together, kumbaya style.
Therapy.
Get some open
mental therapy. Retail therapy.
There you go.
Porno therapy.
So what's this big news then?
We've been given our parts in the nativity play. And I'm the lobster.
And ladies and gentlemen, you are back with the Combat Jack Show, www.pncradio.fm. And I'd like to introduce to the internet's Dr. Maya Pettiford. Welcome to the Combat Jack Show.
Thank
Now, you know...
Doctor, I have a doctorate.
Now, tell us your background. Tell the internets who might not know who you are, what your background is.
I have a doctorate in psychology. I practice psychology in New York City. And I work with all different populations. I've worked in acute settings with people who are actively psychotic. I've worked with people who suffer from drug problems. And I've also worked with the geriatric population.
Okay.
And teens.
Now you,
and family therapy. That's my specialty.
As a practicing psychologist,
yes.
How long do you think it'll take before it's no longer practice, before you're doing it for real?
Well, I mean, does she have an MD?
Not funny.
Do you have an MD on your license plate on your car?
I have a PhD, and no, because people can follow you.
Okay.
Vanity
On
Fates
Twitter,
or
they
not.
can follow you too.
I don't do the internet.
Okay.
Dr. Pettiford, where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
You're from Brooklyn, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, in a nutshell, you help people work through their differences.
One of the things, yes.
And
Improve communication.
Improve communication, and you help people work through their dysfunction. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. What causes dysfunction? Like, what causes...
Your mother.
Your mother. It all comes down to your mother.
No.
Motherfucker.
Who would have known?
Different things. The etiology of mental illness, it stems from many things. It's your environment, it's poverty, it's neglect, it's being of color and having many doors slammed in your face. It can be inherited, such as schizophrenia.
I got all of that.
Stress, money problems, you name it.
Now, one of the things that I've consistently brought up on the show is that I feel, for the most part, the black community is virtually ignored by mental science, and the black community also ignores the benefits of mental science.
Yes.
And now that I noticed that at times we've had some breakdown in this very room, I decided that it was time for us to not just talk the talk, but walk the walk, and have us go through our own form of therapy so that we can have improved dialogue and communication. So you've been sitting in over our last segment, and you wanted to interrupt. How do we proceed?
Well, I'd like for the people who are not on a microphone, who are not necessary for this particular type of dialogue, to leave the room.
Leave the room,
please.
Because
it can prevent people from being more open and authentic. I mean, I know we're on the radio, but we can't see the people who are listening to us.
Right. So how do we determine who leaves the room? Like,
I mean, well, the thing is, obviously Matt is not on a mic right now, but he's obviously an integral part of the show and the circle and the flow of things.
Right.
I gotta say, Matt's kind of even Steven. I don't think he really needs his help.
Okay.
Matt could leave.
He needs plenty.
Matt, can you leave the room? I guess
Ben, he gets a lot of women, and he never shares any.
Get him out.
Get him out. Yes.
Get out of the room.
You must leave.
SGG Design, who helps us with the...
He's never said a word on air.
Get him out of the room.
You gotta get out of the room.
Peace, God.
What about A King? Because A King has, he's part of the exchange.
A King is
the reason we
eventually A King will cry, and I want to be present for that. So if this will lead to that moment, then we'll need to have A King here.
Greetings.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I can make you cry without his presence.
Okay, and what about Just?
Do I need to go?
No. Just we need
celebrity therapy. We need
just needs therapy. I tell you why just needs therapy, because he is so perfect and well rounded. Like, he really needs to be comfortable with his vices, which might be murder.
Okay,
very well could be.
Yeah.
So it's the 5 of us: myself, Premium, Just Blaze, A King, and Dallas Penn. Okay,
that'll work.
All right. So
you can mess with all 5 of us.
Oh my God!
We're talking about therapy.
Group. This is as a group.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Absolutely.
So how do we start, Doctor?
Okay. So first, I want to compliment you on your pursuing therapy with your wife. It's just something that I heard from a previous segment, which is difficult to do, and you should applaud yourself, because it is courageous to be able to open up to people that you do not know. But I think that that's one of the main benefits of therapy, is that when you are sitting with someone, they're not going to judge you. They're not going to tell you what to do. They're not going to tell you that you're wrong. They're not going to undermine anything that you do. They're just there for you to listen and to guide you through any challenges that you might have.
Okay.
So I've heard that there's been, early in the segment, you tried to rehash the tension between you two.
Yes. But is it just between us two? Like, Pete, do you feel that most of the tension comes directly from me?
I mean,
be honest.
Be honest.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, meaning, like, between me and you, meaning who has the most tension between anybody in the room? I would say, me and you.
Okay.
And what about you, Combat Jack?
Pete definitely gets me the most heated. And all of the relationships, all the dynamics. I mean, I would say there are times when, I get pissed off at Dallas Penn as well, but it's not the same type of dynamic. Like, I think Pete and I tend to go head to head.
Head to head.
Whoa.
Whereas
I understand what you mean.
Whereas, Dallas is such a free spirit at times, and it's just like, So
I can even feel the intensity between you two right now. Yeah.
You can feel the fire between them two.
Intense? No. Well, this is what you were saying. You went up to the serious offices and you were talking to these people, and they were like, "Oh, working here sucks." But then you're talking about bringing the show to the next level. You don't want to recreate or have that same kind of environment.
No, definitely.
When you
Absolutely
have achieved the success that you want.
Absolutely
so I think it's
not.
valuable for you to, or all of you, to be able to work out your differences now. Now, when you say he pushes your buttons more, what do you mean by that?
I just, I think from the very start, this has been an organic process. All of us joined the show at one point or another in a very organic manner. So, Pete joined the show about 1.5 years ago, very organically, and, his role on the microphone started to grow. It was very natural. And I think the first difference we ever had was when he got upset at me because I don't return his calls or his emails. And he cussed me out at the old studio, and I was like, damn, Pete is really hot-headed.
Did you not find any validity in his getting upset about acknowledging?
I figured that we came to the show to produce the show and to deliver the show, and this is a journey in the process. So I felt that, I didn't necessarily need to play anybody that close after each episode, but I felt that Premium really cared on a different level. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give in to his demands, and I'm going to call him and email him as much as possible.
So you heard him, and it wasn't that difficult for you to oblige.
Did I hurt you?
Heard him.
Oh, I heard him. Well, he made himself. There was no way I couldn't hear him because he got up in my face and
it was more than that too.
Said I was all
you could have ignored that though.
I could have ignored that.
You could have ignored his plea.
And Dallas intervened and was like, "Yo, man, you need to hold Pete's hand. You need to massage him every now and then."
No, you don't.
What do you think? Do you?
No, I was just when Dallas brought me and Dallas were friends before, I came to the show. So when he brought me to the show and then everything started to escalate, I felt like I brought a lot of energy and emotion and I felt like, we really clicked well. Everything was going well. And then I would reach out to him with suggestions or I had a lot of people that I wanted to book and stuff like that. And, running by him, and this dude wouldn't get back to me. And I was like, yo, I'm the kind of person that, like, I'll give you the shirt off my back. But if I hold the door for you and you walk by and you don't say thank you, I might kick you. That's how I feel. So I felt like, how you going to try to do something nice for somebody and also try to, you know, bring something to the show and they're not even paying attention to you. So then I felt like maybe I shouldn't be there. Maybe I should remove myself. So there was a lot of like, you know, so I basically just told them.
Yeah, but you see how it's one extreme or the other. Either I'm not going to participate at all, or I'm going to kick you.
No, I'm not going to kick him.
But you see what I mean? 0 and 10.
Yeah. I mean, I really consider myself somebody that way. Either you love me or you hate me. There's no in between.
But are you the catalyst for those kind of films? I mean, do you promote that?
I don't have no banners ads anywhere on the internet, but I mean, I could get what you're saying. I mean, maybe I shouldn't only think that way, but that's just how I feel that my approach is. It's either like, you know, either you get me or you don't. And there's a lot of people I think that, I don't know about you, because, you know, you deal with so many different personalities, but there's a lot of people that I think you could see that, like, either they rub you the wrong way or they come across as just being people that, like, you get along with, so to speak. You know, why you give me that evil look? Like
I'm not.
Okay.
Actually, am I?
No, it's a little evil.
I'm just listening to you intently.
Okay.
I'm not judging you.
Because, like, if I was about to tell you that I've been touched as a young boy, I wouldn't have told you in that sense. Nah.
Sandusky.
Sandusky would have told you, but
Yeah, he does have a big mouth.
If I could just jump in for a second, I think that there's Combat mentioned something earlier a few minutes ago about the dynamic in the show and how we all evolve in different pieces at different times. I think there's a huge trust issue within the entire crew. And I think that's what we're seeing in pockets in terms of the strife, the tug of war, the attitude, the arguing, and I mean, last week was was probably at its boiling point. And I guess it was a build up, but it was hidden. Like, you know, sometimes it'll happen, and then, all right, we just come back, and next week we can do the show, do 5 shows, and then
it's like a pressure cooker.
Then a trigger, and then it's like, boom, we right back to 2 months ago. And me personally, I'm a big proponent of resolving issues. Like, if you let things fester,
yes,
it's gonna spiral. And I was a part of that, you know, as well as these two. I mean, they was in each other's face. You know, I mean, literally,
that's scary.
Yeah, and as you're talking to Pete, that's what I see. Like, it's a big trust issue.
A lack of trust.
Lack of trust.
Lack of trust.
There's a big lack of trust within the entire crew.
Okay.
I think we don't trust each other enough, and I don't think that we probably bonded outside of doing the show to develop that trust.
You have not.
Have not.
Well,
Okay.
that's one thing I was gonna say was, I feel like the angle that Pete is coming from is, if I'm here and I'm doing, you know, and I'm gonna be part of this, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make it as best as I can within my ability, which includes, you know, hanging out here and doing what we do, but then also extending that outside. Because ultimately, what the people are gonna have to hear, at least in my opinion, is not just us reporting news and having a guest. It's the rapport that's within the circle.
Because the commodity of this show is that our listeners do value the rapport between ourselves, between each other.
Right.
And I feel like, you know, like how Pete will hit me as soon as I came on board. I knew Pete virtually before this. Twitter, MySpace, Facebook, you know, whatever, mutual friends, you know, by proxy. But as soon as I came in, it was like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow night? Hey, let's go hang out here. But I appreciated that. I'm like, all right, I like that. You know
He's really invested.
Yeah, like he's just invested in friendships and relationships and for the betterment of the show. So I say all that to say I would I understand his frustration in reaching out to you for suggestions for the show or just to see what you're doing on a Wednesday night or whatever and not getting the call back.
Right.
I would probably be a little frustrated too. I'm donating my time to your calls, which at the same time as all of our calls.
Right.
But your cause has to be all of our calls.
Of course, I see what you're saying.
And I'm trying to extend that, and I'm not even getting the hit back until I see you. You know,
next week.
I see you next week. You know, so that would probably bother me as well.
Okay.
But Pete is kind of a hype beast, though.
Wait,
I mean,
People probably make it more dramatic.
like
That's
Pete
how
is
he
calling you up, like finding out what's going on because he knows, like, if you hang out with Just Blaze, beautiful shit happens.
Sometimes it's just a good friends and family thing. Like when excuse me. 'Cause I think I identify because I get it because I'm kind of the same way sometimes. Like when we didn't really know each other, but I invited you out to my birthday thing.
Yes.
Which was pretty much, as you saw, just a friends and family.
Yes.
That shit was incredible.
It was incredible.
But it was just a good night, good energy, and it wasn't like some extra. There were no magic happened. There were no magic acts. You know, there was
No helicopters.
No helicopters, no teleportation.
It was very genuine. It
no
was very
Lear
down to
jets. It was just good people, good food, and good times. You know what I mean?
It felt magical to me.
But to my defense, if I have to put a defense up, once Pete expressed his dissatisfaction, I obliged. Like, we spoke more frequently, and we actually became like, we spoke more frequently at times than anybody else, at least that I spoke to on the show. Like, my situation is different from everybody else's. I have 4 kids. I have a lot of responsibility at home. And
did he tell you? Did you know he was once an attorney? He's an attorney also.
You didn't have to tell me that.
And then last year I had a very high stress work environment that was
Right.
12 hours a day. So it was like,
And he's an attorney.
This was my oasis. The show was my oasis.
Okay.
So
Okay, and it seems like when Pete was approaching you, you felt overwhelmed.
I was just overwhelmed anyway.
Right. But overwhelmed, and it's like, oh my God, I have like another kid I have to take care of. Not that you're a child, but he had so many requests of you.
I never put him as a child until Dallas Penn said, consider him another child. Then I was like, okay, cool.
Combat Jack is the king of the dry snitch.
But not,
That's what you said, Dallas?
I'm sure I didn't say that, but because I'm a burnout, I can't remember.
Well, if you did say that,
Shut the fuck.
So,
but listen, but he's not a child. He's another person
He's a grown man.
who needs and wants something from you.
Right.
He's a needy man.
And that's,
can I say pause with that?
we're going to have to pause you, doctor.
Really?
Yeah.
No, doctor, you don't have to.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing
Okay. And the reason why I was looking at you that way is
I'm attractive, I know.
you may be, is because I can experience your pain.
Yeah.
So Pete has a lot of...
when you were saying, Dallas is saying, well,
I'm Dallas.
Pete,
Libra.
you know how you push buttons and this, that, and the other thing. You can do whatever you want to do. Other people are responsible for how they respond to you. And so, again, the onus isn't just on him. If you start wilding out and start yelling in his face, that demonstrates that you don't have total control.
Doctor, I got to tell you something. I feel like through Combat Jack's years of experience as he's an attorney.
Yeah.
He understands and can read people.
Really?
To the point where he knows when he's pushing Peter's buttons. And I feel like sometimes he knows when Pete's so wound up that if he just pushes his button, bam, Pete will fly off and
So you saying I'm an evil motherfucker?
No, I'm saying that you're willing at times to let Pete unspool himself.
Well, sometimes I will watch Pete unspool himself.
Wait, I think I agree with that, and I think ultimately it makes for good radio,
right?
But I wonder if sometimes that's your motivation for doing those things.
Now, actually, I can honestly say that I'm a type of person that I like peace in my environment. I don't like conflict.
But you're Combat Jack.
Papoose people have said that before.
Yeah, that's true.
They have said that.
I don't understand that. That's such a contradiction.
So what does that mean?
I don't know. What does it mean?
Is it like I'm like Bruce Wayne and Batman?
No.
Is Combat Jack Batman?
No, you're like Harvey Denton Two-Face.
I think there's probably some underlying
Some
anger
psychos?
and rage.
Some psychosis?
That you get to express by pushing his buttons because he does it for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you got to say that again.
That's called projective identification.
So,
Hold on for a second.
That is the word of the year.
Hold on for a second.
Wait, you got to say that.
Hold on for a second. Dwayne, exec producer Dwayne, make sure you drop a nuclear bomb on that. Okay.
So basically, I have anger issues.
Some
but
underlying anger.
Try to rein it in.
Yes.
I have people in my environment that it can express
Yes.
My anger?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
And who better but the guy who goes from 0 to 60 in 30 seconds?
So he's my anger embodied, you know.
Yes.
Wow.
Deeper than Atlantis.
Yeah.
So what do we do now?
We listen to music. I'm getting warm. My ears are getting hot.
Time for a music break.
Yeah, time for a music
The
break.
doctor. Thank you, doctor.
Wait. It's not over yet.
Thank you, doctor.
Yo, I'll tell you,
Time for a music break.
Wait.
We'll be back.
I at one point thought that they were going to bring a man here as a doctor, and then now it's kind of hard to open up, but then it's like, you know, now that you don't look at me with that evil eye, I really feel that maybe I'm going to open up a little bit more to you next segment.
I need you to open up.
And I'm Italian, so, you know, Italian therapist, you know, Tony Soprano really paved the way for us, you know.
Okay.
Turn off your TV.
Internet, you're tuned into the Combat Jack Show, www.pnc radio.
Turn on your radio.
F your radio. FM. Projected identification. I'm Bruce Banner. Pete's the Hulk. I love this. Dr. Pettiford.
Yes.
I like this.
I'm glad you're finding some value in it.
So how do we take this to the next level? Like, where do we resume?
Okay, well, I'd like to address something that Pete said right before he left the room. And therapists call these doorknob comments. People usually drop bombs 2 minutes before the session's supposed to end. And you mentioned that you had been in therapy as a kid and it was a waste of time for you. You felt like you wasted your parents' money. And I'm wondering what happened.
Yeah, why were you in therapy, dude?
I was a troublesome kid. What do you mean? Why?
You were.
When parents don't know how to handle you, they put you in therapy.
No, some just beat you.
I mean, I got that too.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
So you're damaged.
What do you mean I'm damaged? I'm produce? What do you mean I'm damaged?
Like abused, and then like you've been
I'm not
prodded,
abused. Listen, there's many kids out there
and fondled.
that are listening. Not fondled.
I'm just saying.
Nah.
Button pushing.
Yeah.
Combat Jack button pushing.
Yeah, that's so inappropriate. Because it's a serious issue.
Come on, doctor.
It's very inappropriate, Combat.
No.
You should hear how we talk about each other.
Okay, but we're having an open, kind of kind.
Pete, I'm sorry for saying you've been fondled and prodded.
You're feeling.
I'm sorry.
Your actions are not making me feel right now.
Okay.
And I just wanted to let you know how I feel.
Okay.
Okay.
I think.
Am I doing good, doctor?
I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I think Combat Jack has a difficult time.
He has issues, this guy.
With people talking about pain. And so. Oh, raised eyebrow. Therein lies the reason for all the humor. It's called a defense mechanism. So let's go back to talking to
Hold
Pete.
up, I don't like this, the way this segment is turning out right now. But
anybody can get it, Combat.
Anybody can.
I would love to see a picture of you in the studio on the top where says, "You gonna get this work. You gonna get this work."
Continue, doctor. Let doctor work. Let the doctor give this
I'll let
work.
you off the hook also. So you said that you got disciplined or beaten as well as having to go to therapy because you were a difficult kid?
Yeah, I mean, I was just I was in therapy a lot. I just didn't, they just put me there. I went to group homes and I got locked up a lot. I mean, listen, I was just a troublesome kid, man. I was in, I just remember being there because I had to be there. I never really spoke on anything. You know what I mean? Like, I just wasted my parents' copay, so to speak. The guy, because to be honest with you, every therapist was like, some like Harvey, like, pumpernickel, type dude. And he was like, so why don't you tell me about your problems? And I'm like, fucking, at the time, I'm like, this fucking guy, like, I got a rubber band on my money, I got a feline tracksuit that has, woolly blunt burns in it. You know what I mean? Listen, what the fuck are you going to tell me? You know what I mean? And I think that being an Italian, that at that age, the new age Italian, like, motherfucker, you think you knew everything. You know what I mean?
I think you got to stop that Italian stuff right there.
Nah, because the culture that...
there are Italians listening right now who you're embarrassing. You cannot project how you've acted and say that it's a cultural
I'm saying
or a racial...
the environment I grew up in, mostly a lot of Italian kids, they were way different than what people think. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, it's like... most of them, it's good and bad because they thought they knew everything.
Well, I don't think it's just a cultural thing. I think you're also speaking to adolescence, which is probably one of the most tumultuous periods of a kid's life.
Yeah, could you define tumultuous?
It's really hard.
Okay.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge, and parents expect you to act in a responsible way and give you certain responsibilities, like at 18. Is that when we can drive or drink?
Yes.
Right.
16 when you can drive.
16 when you can drive.
21 when you can drink.
I was
Right.
drinking at 15.
14 years old.
And the brain is still growing, and there's been lots of research and studies about how the executive or the frontal part of your brain hasn't fully formed, and so kids are given all of this responsibility and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to handle it. But getting back to you having a troublesome adolescence, you have to go to a therapist who actually knows what it's like to struggle and to be able to find a way to communicate with you. Not Mr. Pumpernickel, but clearly no one was able to meet you where you...
One person was.
Describe that relationship.
When I went into, I got mandated in Staten Island to a treatment program. I got arrested with drugs, and at that time the lawyer said, "Tell him to use drugs."
Right.
And I was like, "Okay, use drugs." So I put him no jail, put him in a fucking program.
Alternative to incarceration.
Yeah, it's a TAS, treatment alternative street
I work
crime.
for them, yes.
Yeah, you know Maria Rotundo?
No.
Okay, I'm looking for her.
Big girl?
Stop dry snitching, please.
Yeah,
big girl.
She's retired. But anyway, I literally finally met my match, and I've been looking for him for a long time, meaning like someone to talk to, because at first they put this guy on me that was like some redneck with a big mustache, and he was like, "Well, why don't you tell me about what kind of music you listen to, and what do you be doing in your neighborhood?" I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" Then I met an Italian guy from the Bronx.
That you liked him.
Who worked on the boats, with the
boats
poker shit.
It's muscular.
The poker shit, and he was like, yo, this guy would take his teeth out, spit in the garbage. I'm like, this motherfucker. Like, he was like, late night, he would order pizza for us and let us watch movies. Like, he just was an Italian guy really lived that life of being fucked up, but then overcoming it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I really respect that because I overcame a lot of stuff in my life also, and I related to him. And I feel like he made me change. Like, he made me...
You overcame that.
Yeah.
That stuff.
But anyway, I mean...
So you did ultimately find some value in the therapy relationship, and clearly you want to do it again.
No.
Again.
Only if they look like you.
And again.
They don't.
Okay, shit.
They don't.
They don't. They certainly don't.
Now, do you take G? What's
no,
that?
no insurance.
Health Plus or G?
No.
Only cash.
EBT.
Only cash. No EBT. But actually,
MetroCard.
no.
How much would this session cost if we were to hire you? How much would this session cost?
Why would you ask that?
Listen, that's dry snitching.
Yeah.
She can't put a rate out there like that. Come on.
And then we're gonna be.
I am curious to know though, if it's a group thing, do you pay per person?
Yes, you do pay per person.
On severity?
No, not severity at all.
Okay.
Not based on severity.
So
but
it's just your rate times 5.
Yes.
Or 6.
So
Yes.
you're doing pretty well for yourself.
I am.
Look at that smile.
Does the set
Are you single?
Look at those teeth.
Look at those teeth.
Look at those teeth.
I mean, listen. Are you single? I'm just asking if you don't mind.
Thank my mother for the teeth. What would it mean to you?
It would mean that I would need to find a doctor like you that I could speak to, and also be mesmerized that someone can help me and have some fun times with. Yo, imagine being able to think about it. Imagine me and you go out to eat, and then I can tell you
he's gonna take you to. You're a Brooklyn girl. He's gonna take you to Roll and Roast.
Yeah,
on
I'm gonna take you to
Emmons
Roll
Avenue.
Roast on Emmons Avenue, and I'm like, one time I had a problem.
Roll and
Roll
Roaster.
Roaster.
All right. So, doctor.
Yes. Well, let me say, Pete, even though it was kind of coded in all of that sexual business, I appreciate what you're saying because it means that you feel like we have a connection and you could.
You're
get
easy
something.
to get along with. I don't mean no sexual coding.
No, but
I'll give my number afterwards. But I mean,
but it's easier for you to say that than just be honest, Dr. Pettyford. You would be the type of therapist that I could get something from. Gain something. I did that to myself.
No, it's all right.
Damn, Just Blaze, you are thirsty over there.
Get that work.
No, I understand. Listen,
those cookies are making you thirsty.
Okay. So, given that we have limited time.
No. It's Combat Jack show.
Well, Combat Jack is also just sort of sitting in a corner here,
Get
and we're
back to him because he has a lot of issues that I think
We all have
entitlement issues, and I believe that it's not only about me. Like this, it's not about me. We got Dallas here, A King. We almost had him cry a couple of times.
Yeah, that's true.
Listen, Matt Raz and Ben Hameen, who I would actually like to vote to come back in this room.
And the Enigma just blazed. We gotta
shortly. They'll be allowed to come back into the room.
So,
but I'm hoping that you and I, or you would seriously consider returning to therapy, and I have referrals for you. I can connect you with someone whose style is more like mine.
So I can't go to you?
So in this room, Pete, you highly advise that Pete
Oh,
see
stop.
therapy.
Stop
No,
being,
I'm just,
you're being very
see,
dramatic.
thank you.
Pushing buttons. I think you could also, because I think that you are hiding your authentic self behind layers and layers and layers.
Ooh, Doc, you ain't lying.
Get his ass.
Get him, Doc.
Of humor and defensiveness. So he's not the only one. Okay.
I hide my true self under layers of fat.
I'm sorry. Nuts is the new normal. Nuts is the new normal. So everyone can benefit from therapy, no matter who you are, or where you're coming from, or what your issues are. So, yes.
Can you refer some other therapists?
I was gonna say
that's how we started last week. That take insurance.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Doctor, through your years of work, of practicing, of working,
yes.
Can you say that you have nuts on the brain?
No, I don't have nuts on the brain, and that's actually a disgusting image. Dallas.
Doctor, I was just thinking how you
Well,
think
no.
about people who are not, together in the mind, and you're working ways in your mind to fix them,
Dallas, I'm trying to court her over here. What are you doing?
okay,
Dallas, I'm curious why it is that you've quit the show so often. How do you just give up something that's obviously so meaningful to you?
I gotta be honest with you, Doctor. I am
should he take
frightful.
the shades off? Should he take the shades off?
I'm scared of success.
Doctor, should he take the shades off?
I can see through the shades.
And there are times when I feel like the momentum of the show and just the motion that we're all having together is becoming so, the vibrations are becoming so strong that I have to pull out.
Ha ha! Why does everything have to be a metaphor for sex?
Doctor, I'm talking about the show.
No, you're not talking
Dallas,
about
you were
the
taught
show.
well. Pull out. Don't worry about it.
I'm talking about the show, Doctor. I'm talking about the show and just how we're all working together.
Anyway, no, you're not working together. You keep running off.
And then there are times when I just be mad because like shit be boring sometimes, Doctor. Like we just talk with rappers and we find out what day they were born and we find out the first record they listened to and we find out the same shit. I want to talk about fecal dust.
Oh my God.
Like if you have passed gas and then your behind is a little itchy.
All right, stop.
Fecal dust.
So what do we do with this?
Okay, what do we do with him?
Yes.
Nothing.
Nothing.
We do nothing.
He's fine.
He is good.
He's good.
He needs
good.
mental health. He needs.
He does, but
Like yo, honestly, when you look at Dallas, you could tell that one day there could be a possibility that he could be on a ledge somewhere in a building making bird noises, like seriously, like in the MO home. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not all
mental
an act.
observation.
Yes,
but I'll probably be there with him too.
I don't think so.
If you're there, I will be. Listen,
no.
I had Melissa Ford here last week, and I'm telling you, I'm more excited about you being here than her.
Should I take that as a compliment?
Where are we going with this now?
Yes, Pete's just letting the thirst
he's
out.
He's just reinforcing how much he feels connected
I
to
feel
the
comfortable
idiot,
with you.
comfortable, and how.
I want to put a down payment tonight on some sessions.
So wait. I'm a little confused.
Layaway. Hold on, you take layaway?
Absolutely not.
I'm a little confused.
I have a 5-year-old. We like to travel.
You're gonna let Dallas off the hook like that?
I'm gonna ignore him for a while. He's gonna keep prodding until he's heard.
So where do we go now?
We talk about you.
That's right.
Talk about me.
Where we should have been.
Let's talk about me.
I love the dimples.
I got dimples too. What are you talking about?
She likes mine.
Hold on, premium. This is combat session right now.
This is when I lose her. He's gonna tell her that
this is combat session.
Now I'm getting nervous.
The last person who told him he liked that they liked his dimples,
Sandusky.
he almost got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Monet
Divine.
Okay, it's not that kind of party.
She's a porno star.
It's not that kind of
Hey,
party.
Monet.
We have 6 minutes.
Oh.
To the
Peggy
next
Fresh, you're on.
And he's happy to say
That's normally what she says to people.
No, I don't interrupt.
Okay.
What's making you anxious?
I don't know.
Money.
Money.
No, excuse me. What are you anxious about?
Order, success. Like there's a lot of weight that I feel I carry.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the gym.
And so it's
you got that fuel band.
And so it's your responsibility to hold it down for everyone?
Not hold it down for everyone, but yeah, in a sense, I do feel that sometimes I'm holding it down for everyone. Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot of responsibility.
And so how do you...
I mean, you saw when the guys came in and they were like...
Yes.
They directed their anger towards me.
Mm-hmm. And so what do you do when people direct their anger towards you?
I try to address it. And, you know, I take responsibility for my involvement, and I try to keep it moving.
Do you always take responsibility?
No.
Definitely not.
He runs away a lot. Hides.
What do you mean I run away?
I mean, you just don't literally listen to a lot of people. I think that when you come to a certain time where you got experience in life, and I feel like sometimes...
Doctor, that's another reason why I leave the show often. This way, combat can projectively identify the lack of success of the show on my departure. See, sometimes I take that weight off his shoulders ever so slightly with my erratic behavior. Then at least people can say, all right, the reason why there's such fuck-ups is because that guy, breaks form.
Mm.
And that he gets to take the weight off his shoulders for a minute, but then boom, it comes back on.
So you like to save people?
Yeah, I mean that's part of what the Black Peter Pan does. I like to save people. I like to save people's joy.
That's a lot of work, though.
I mean, listen, doctor, I'll tell you, I've sat through my hours of therapy, and I do have a lot of pain too. I mean, I worry about being deserted. That's why I leave.
But Dallas, we won't ever leave you.
No, to leave before having the rug is pulled from underneath you.
Absolutely.
You feel like we're gonna leave you, Dallas?
Listen, I've been left a lot of times in my life. So I've learned to leave before I get left. I'd like to do the leaving now.
So at what points have you felt that you were gonna get left on this show?
I can tell you, the single biggest hurt I felt was probably one of the greatest moments that the show family ever had. And we had a tremendous event out in Bushwick, where, hundreds, if not 1,000 people came and gathered, enjoyed, kind of like the show atmosphere, which can be willy-nilly. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a concert, there was barbecue, there were drinks,
merriment,
dodgeball, water slides. It was nuts. And with all of these people there, I still felt alone. Still felt alone. Like wow, everyone's having a great time. Boom. I did it. What is it all for? So that's when I just was like, you know what? This is, I got to do some other things.
It's too much excitement.
You know what? It was a great event and everyone had a great time, but it still left me feeling empty.
Right. You have a difficult time with joy. You don't know how to experience it. You don't know how to feel comfortable with it.
I don't like too much of it. I just went to St. Martin for 2 weeks, and the last days of the trip, I was paranoid as hell that I could have this much enjoyment. Like, I don't feel like me as a black man, you can have 2 weeks. Only Jay-Z can go and have 2 weeks of a vacation.
Well, it's not as a black man, it's as Dallas, the person, the experiences that you've had.
Well, I try to take on blackness. I mean,
no.
I be trying to take it on.
Yeah, because that's
But I identify with him, too, because I feel like I carry a lot of blackness on my back.
Say more about that.
Like, everything I see is enveloped in race on a daily basis.
Yeah, but that shit drives me crazy sometimes, personally, because
it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy.
Okay,
like, you know what I'm saying?
You ever feel like maybe you look for it where it's not there?
It's like the sixth sense. I see race.
Okay,
like I see race.
I just want to go back to Dallas. What you shared. I think that all of you have difficulty with negative affect because rather than talking to Dallas about what he has put out there, y'all started talking about something altogether different. And if you want to create those close kind of bonds and a sense of loyalty, you acknowledge what it is that he's shared because you have great insight about your abandonment issues. And I think you should be applauded for the fact that you have talked about having therapy and you know what your issues are and you're still struggling with them. You know, if you're supposed to be a family looks out for one another and you actually listen to one another.
Okay.
Did you hear what he said? And don't start joking.
Now, I'm just going to say that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So y'all niggas need to listen twice as much as y'all talk. Excuse me for using the N-word. I'm sorry.
And I think that's probably a running theme with your team is that people talk a lot and people don't actually listen. They don't listen. People do not listen. I hear you, but am I listening to you? And the answer is probably no.
Why are you looking at me?
Amen.
Why are you looking at me, though?
Because it all revolves around you.
Because it's the Combat Jack show.
Because you're sitting right across from me.
Okay.
It's set up like that.
Yeah. I'm hungry.
So
this is draining.
So we need to listen to Dallas more.
You need to listen to everyone more.
So we need to listen to everybody more. And I need to listen to everybody more.
Yeah, there's something about your face, and I'll tell you this. It's a kind of mask. You almost raise the eyebrow again. It's like you're just so defended. I don't feel you being open in the way that you were, Dallas, just now, or Pete. It's like, what are you afraid of? And I don't expect you to answer that right away.
I'll tell you, Doctor. You listen to too much gangster rap.
I don't think he.
Who, me or him?
He do.
I don't think combat is concrete enough. I think he. That's my problem with him. Like, he's too democratic.
He's very proud.
If this is the Combat Jack show. Then Combat Jack, aka Reggie Osei, needs to just lay down the law, and that's it. And then I think everything will be like, all right, it will be no clue. We won't look at each other. No, we like, you know what he said is this, and that's how he's gonna lead, and this we gonna follow. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of time he defers. And it's not that he can't, because I think we're all capable of being able to be deferred to. But at the same time, it's like, just let's stop that and just do it, and then that'll save a lot of time and the mistrust. We would be like, all right, the leader said this, and that's it. We just gonna run with it.
I don't know if that
I'm not saying that to say we're not all leaders in our own right. I'm just saying in certain realms, like I think he just way too democratic about certain things.
Well, another way that you could look at it is he's delegating all these other responsibilities to other people, because being a leader is a tough job, especially if you're a black man. You have a lot to accomplish, to strive for, like he said, he's holding that weight on his shoulders. And if he goes down, he's not just going down for himself, he's representing a people. And that's very difficult to do.
Very Malcolm X-ish.
Damn, A-King, you was killing until you.
I mean, we
A-King.
Let's say this.
Open up, Combat. Tell them how you feel.
I'm gonna open up. I think I have abandonment issues myself. I didn't grow up with a father, and growing up in Brooklyn without a father, I've had some very painful experiences. Defending myself, only child, no older brother. You know what I'm saying? So I've had and then first generation American, so I got teased a lot. I had to fight a lot. And I don't think I'm naturally a combative person, even though my name is Combat Jack.
Right.
But I've had to survive. And I've learned to have a mask to coexist. Now, I feel all my life, I've always wanted what I didn't have, which was a complete family. So now I have a complete family at home, and it's my pride and joy. But there are times the things that make me the most insecure is not having a father figure and not knowing if I'm making the right decisions, not knowing the decisions to make. So sometimes I get paralyzed because I don't know what that roadmap is. But I realize people come to me all the time for guidance and questions and advice.
Right. Thank you for that.
That's my... If I were to put what I'm experiencing here and what I experience at home, I would say that's it.
Yeah, this show's making me depressed, man. I'm gonna go home.
Don't be depressed.
Because it's like
you feeling depressed.
I really you made me say some things, and listening to Dallas and him talk, like I'm relating to all this. I didn't have an older brother. That's why I always kind of like got close with certain people and really rode or died for them, because it's like I always wanted an older brother. And then
like Pete, when you get depressed, do you go home and do you put on your swim trunks and just lay in your pool?
Nah.
Pete has a nice pool.
Nah, listen.
A bathtub?
No, a pool in his backyard, chlorinated, with a diving board.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Did I just dry snitch?
No, you didn't. You didn't dry snitch. But let's go to a music break.
Okay.
Because I think we're going over time, and then we should. The other two members of our team had some.
Yeah, we need to quickly get them in here, and definitely they have some issues too. Listen, Matt Raz definitely has some issues.
Okay,
Just Blaze has still not confessed to any murders.
Well, I'm sorry, we're not doing individual therapy.
No,
here.
I don't mean that.
I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate that, and we'll talk about that. But I'd like to focus a little bit more on fusing you two together, because what you're telling me, what you just said. It sounds like you look up to Combat Jack like he is your big brother.
Well, there's a couple people.
Yes.
There's a couple. I wouldn't say good big brother. Maybe.
Yes.
There's a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. There's a handful of people that I consider that. And when people sometimes
is he one of them?
When people, yeah.
So can you tell him that?
Tell him what?
Tell him what you just said.
Why you gotta make me say
because that's what we do in therapy.
Yeah, I know. But you're gonna give me a number afterwards?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I look up to you like a big brother.
And thank you, Peter. I appreciate that.
Okay.
I feel.
I don't have one, so and plus, to be honest with you, my father's like one of the greatest guys on this planet, but he worked so much, he really wasn't there for me on a lot of things. My pops wasn't that type of dude that way played catch with me. He didn't come home in time, and. One focal part of my I feel like my issues with therapy was when I was 15 years old. My father, something happened, man. He was tricking, and my mother busted him. So it was a hard time to really.
You felt betrayed.
I felt betrayed because my mother is probably the greatest woman on this planet, but
second greatest.
Okay, but. To me, she's the number one, but she's not really meant for this new lifestyle of people, meaning like she's too good. So it's like you kind of like step on them. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make is I would see her cry, and that hurt me. And I kind of really never forgave my pops, and I really took it out in a lot of ways. Like, went to his bank account, took out mad money. You know what I mean?
So when
yeah, I wish we were around. We could have been doing.
When Combat Jack didn't respond to you, it was like being betrayed by your dad.
Yeah, I thought we were going to a break.
Last thing I do want to say is this. With regard to Dallas, I think out of everybody in this room, I've been the most trusting of Dallas.
What, can you tell him that directly?
Like, Dallas, I've been the most trusting of you. Like, I really value you like my brother.
I trust you like you are my brother, Combat.
And I feel,
give me a kiss.
No, stop. And I feel at times because I'm not that much of a trust giving. I don't share trust that often, but I think I've shared a lot of trust with you, and I felt sometimes that I've been betrayed because you're Dallas. No.
Well, I think that one of the goals that you should have, and everyone in the room, is to have the same level or degree of trust that you have with Dallas.
Right.
That should be your aim. And I want to talk very quickly, because I know we're supposed to go to break, and just make a quick comment, which is the defenses that you had when you were growing up, the face, the detachment, those defenses, when you grow up, they can imprison you. And so right now, you're imprisoned by the things that protected you as a child. And one of your goals should be is to take down each brick so that you can live a very full life.
Yeah, I'd like that. You're tuned into the Combat Jack Show. www.pncradio.fm.
Mental therapy.
Let's go to a music break. www.pncradio.fm. Therapy
Radio.
Thursdays. You're going to get this work.
Can we do this more
Dr.
often?
Pettiford in the building.
Hello.
You gonna get this wellness.
Can we do this more often?
Doctor, can we have you on the show more often? Because we can't, there's too many personalities, there's too many issues to get resolution in just one episode.
Absolutely. I am.
The invoice will be coming in next week.
Because I definitely want to hear, what.
But doctor, when you come back here,
psychosis
doctor,
is.
you got to wear a fat suit. You got to come up with a black eye. Something. You cannot come up in here, all right, with your eyebrows and your eyelashes.
Fancy.
Yeah.
You're looking all fancy.
All right.
I'll take
Seriously,
that as a
doctor.
compliment.
Doctor,
No,
can-
this is who I am.
Doctor,
Don't invite her back. Seriously.
we have a limited.
Okay.
We have a limited amount of time.
Okay.
You've heard Dallas share. You've heard Premium share. You've heard me share.
I think that we've just scratched the surface.
Scratch the surface.
Of the issues that go on between each of you, and you realize that it starts with the individual. Two, not even two, three of you have issues with abandonment, even though, Pete, in terms of your betrayal, your dad, feeling as though your dad has left,
Yeah.
right? And it impacts everyone's interaction with everyone else. I was really pleased when my friend Chris invited me to come onto the show, because I don't think that mental illness or mental health problems are given enough attention.
Can I interrupt?
Sure.
Do we have are we exhibiting signs of mental illness?
Wait, could you sign
This
us a
is the new
prescription?
normal.
Do you have a prescription book on you?
Absolutely not.
I need perks.
Wait, so are we damaged?
Excuse me.
Are we crazy? Is like mental illness?
I never use the word damaged.
Okay.
And you use that word.
He did.
with
He
Pete.
said that against me, and it hurt me, Doc. It hurt me. It made me feel.
It made you feel not.
Why don't you
whole.
tell him? How did it make you?
Yeah,
Tell
talk to me.
Jack how it made
Tell
you
me
feel.
how I make you
Hey,
feel.
Jack. It.
Hey, Jack.
I want to be honest
Sometimes
with
you
you.
make me
I wanna
feel
be honest with
not
you.
whole.
Please don't invite her back, because I am feeling some kind of way tonight that I'm not liking.
You don't
like
li-
I
you
went to
don't-
go wash my hands in the bathroom. I looked in the mirror.
started crying?
and I was like, "What the fuck?" I want to call my father right now. I'm like, "You motherfucker!"
But
I love you.
I love you. Yeah.
Maybe you should.
You should.
Nah, but listen. This.
Listen, you say everything else out of your mouth that you feel.
You say everything. Out of
Yeah,
your
I know,
mouth.
but sometimes
Go home and hug that man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you don't
Squeeze that
I
man.
mean, sometimes I'm just saying. Sometimes you
Kiss
really
that
don't
man.
approach. Like growing up,
On the mouth.
nah. What are you talking about? The thing I'm saying is like sometimes you don't really like growing up around like a lot of my friends, and especially now to this day. People when you be serious, they joke around. You know what I'm saying? Like you see how like Dallas was being serious, I'm being serious. This is the first time where I literally, when Dallas was talking, I'm literally taking him serious, like to a point where I really like felt what he was saying. So I'm saying,
Tell him that.
no, I'm saying like I really.
Tell him that. No, I mean, this is how you build and improve your communication and your bonds with one another.
I mean, he knows I'm there for him.
No,
as
maybe
a
he
friend.
doesn't.
Talk
I
to
mean-
him. Say Dallas.
Say
Look him
it
in his
to
eyes.
him.
I know, but
Doctor, I'll be honest with you. I know Premium is there for me as a friend. There are times where I let my phone bill lapse so that my phone won't receive calls, so that I can avoid Premium. But I love him dearly as a friend.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Doctor, resolution. What part of resolution can we get today?
Well, I think one of your staff members mentioned that he felt as though you all were less guarded than he anticipated. I see that you're not wearing a mask anymore. So we scratch the surface and take it from there by trying to be as authentic and honest with each other. There's no way that we can resolve your issues in one session. That's impossible.
Of course not.
But if you all are willing to, we can meet again. And
Are you going to charge
Starbucks?
us? Are you going to charge us?
absolutely.
You're going to charge us for like a...
Absolutely.
Can
My
we-
daughter and I are going to Paris before the year ends. Yes.
What around this month are y'all gonna stay in?
Well, what if
Stay near Notre Dame.
What if
Stay near Notre Dame? and stuff.
You are probably the only woman guest that we've had on the show that I think unanimously we would like to see again and again.
No,
and again.
I don't want to
Yes,
see it.
yes.
So what about, instead of putting us on the bill,
Yes.
that we put you on as a recurring role on the show?
I would like that.
Because, it's great publicity.
I'm getting sick that day.
It's also
I mean, why see?
It's also expensive.
Doctor, are you going to leave us with some homework for next week?
I need a prescription now. Like,
No,
you
you
got
don't
Ritalin?
Oh, you would like homework. See, Dallas is being honest. He likes this. He wants to continue with, and I think each of you.
And I want to continue too.
Okay, but he's really gung ho.
He
He's
wants
like, "Are you
homework.
good at homework?"
What's our homework? What's a homework, Dr. Pettiford?
That's a good question. What type of homework can I give?
And then we can report to you next month.
Well, I think she should be aware of what's getting ready to happen in a few days, since we did talk about bonding and outside of the.
One of the reasons why I felt it was important that you be here today is that we go on a road trip.
Okay.
In 2 days.
Okay.
To Atlanta. It's our very first
Road trip.
Road trip.
Okay.
We do a public performance of this show.
Okay.
In Atlanta. So I felt that it would be good to at least discuss some issues before we all went on the road together.
Mm-hmm. So you're going on a road trip in a couple of days. Are you all staying on the same bus?
Plane. Except for Just Blaze.
And me.
Because he's the cheat code.
Oh.
And he has his own
Because
arrangements.
I'm flying on a saucer.
He's teleporting.
Jetsons are picking him up. George Jetson's going to pick him up.
Okay.
He's Just
so
Blaze.
all of you are going to be together in the same hotel room?
Same room. We're all sleeping in the
I mean,
same
no.
bed.
I'm at the same hotel.
Same hotel.
I would like.
And my wife is coming.
Yes, Combat Jack has us all in the same room.
Yeah, and the same.
Bunking.
I'm sorry.
Bunking.
I'm sorry. So
Get a little closer.
I'm on the Murphy bed. I got the Murphy
Red
bed.
extra dry.
okay, 2 parts to the homework. The first part is between now and then.
Between now and when?
Now and the departure of
Yes.
the trip. Each of you will say one honest and authentic statement to one another, without the jokes, the laughs, the mask, all that. Because you have to start baby steps.
So we
It's called
all have
success.
to say something to each other.
Yes.
So
each
that's
and
one. Multiply that. That's one. That's how many of us are there?
7.
7 times 7 is so.
Yes.
We have to have 49 interactions.
Yeah,
Say
I'm not
what?
good at math.
Hold up.
49.
Run it back again?
It's 7 of us.
So each
say
one of
one
us has
thing
to have an
to one person.
individual interaction with each individual
Yes.
member.
Cool.
Where you can, where you're honest and authentic. And
Now,
you-
does it have to say? Does it have to be like positive or negative or just?
It has to be real.
Can it be like I don't like the way you?
No, I would like for you to say something positive.
Okay.
Positive.
Okay.
Authentic and positive.
Damn.
And the second part of the homework.
That made it hard.
No, it's not that hard. Stop it, Dallas.
Oh, it is.
Well, we
No,
can-
I don't mean.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, there's always one thing, one positive thing.
And
that
we
you
can
find
do it
about
on via telephone or text or
No.
because
No, each of
Face to
well,
face.
we're not going to see each other between.
We could email each other. We know.
No, email is no.
So we have to do it tonight then.
Tonight before you depart the studio.
Oh,
Okay.
snap.
Oh, so we're going to be here for 49 minutes.
No, well, doesn't have to be a minute long.
Okay, that's true. Okay, so
And
doctor.
the second part is while you're on the trip, each of you, excluding your spouse, who is a part of the team, go out and do something together. And I don't mean go out for drinks or to a strip club or any of that.
I won't be able to go too.
I think it's going to
Okay.
be very difficult
Why?
to exclude.
Spouses?
No, it's not.
No?
I'm just talking about a 2-hour window where you guys can get together and just.
You can go to a spa.
I mean, hold on for a second.
Yes?
Listen, we've got all
This
these
is a kind of-
panels
yeah.
to attend. We could actually attend other panels together. Maybe a panel that we didn't think we'd mess with. Something
So
like that.
a different panel that none of us.
I just
we'll figure it out.
just
Something.
something.
Okay.
There'll be plenty of things down there where we can all do something together.
Yes.
Yeah, and try not to allow it to involve, alcohol.
Oh, damn.
How about drugs?
How about weed?
No marijuana either.
Okay. Cocaine?
Marijuana is
Cocaine?
no drugs at all.
How about a woolly?
All right, stop.
No.
Okay, so that's our homework.
That's your homework.
And then do we report back to you
Yes, you do.
Okay.
via email
Skype.
or via our executive producer Chris
Yes.
Morrow? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I
Well,
thought we was
doctor,
gonna get the phone
this has
number.
been very, very helpful. I feel like a weight has been lifted
That
off
wasn't
my
me who said
shoulders.
that.
Tell the internets where they can find you. Tell us about what you do.
They can't find me.
They can't find you.
This is Illuminati
You're
here.
too exclusive.
Dry snitching again.
You're too exclusive.
No.
I'll tell you what.
No.
The internets can find Dr. Pettiford
on our page
on the Combat Jack Show.
CombatJackShow.com.
Please, internets, email us some questions that you may have that we could then in turn present to Dr. Pettiford and have them answered on air. You don't have to, of course, leave your name. You could, just 2 initials.
How can they email us?
Listen, like Dan Savage does. But not sexual advice.
I'll know from their
Randy
email,
Savage?
I'll know from their email address.
That's on them.
It doesn't matter.
That's on them.
That's on them.
Email your issues to Combat Jack.
Don't email it to Combat Jack because Combat Jack will dry snitch.
Yes.
Email it to A King. He'll keep it.
Or not
email
just,
it to combatjack.com.
Or not
combatjack@gmail.com.
Or not just emailing it to Combat Jack, but also you can also go to your local mental health center. And set up an appointment. If you feel like you need to talk to someone, don't hesitate to do so because there's no shame attached to getting help.
It depends how your counselor looks.
Well, Doctor, once she just gave Pete that look, Doctor, can we see you next month?
Yes.
Can I see you tomorrow?
Come on, Premium. Come on,
Premium.
I have issues now. She made me open up.
You had issues before, Pete.
Right. You'll have issues tomorrow,
Doctor.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I think we've progressed a lot, even if we've just scratched the surface. And guys, Pete, Dallas, how do you feel, man?
I pretty much feel good all the time. I still feel hurt from that shit, from that barbecue shit.
What do you feel so hurt about?
I feel hurt, man. I feel hurt. Like
what did I do to you at that barbecue?
Well, it wasn't simply you, Combat. It was A King. It was Ben Amin. It was... Just Blaze wasn't even part of the show then.
Around here.
No, it was you, Just Blaze. Just your aura. Just your whole aura of success.
Oh.
You know,
a bad thing?
That you're comfortable with. That you're comfortable with your success.
Oh, you have issues with that?
I have issues that you're comfortable with your success and you don't have any obvious vices or flaws. I am uncomfortable with that.
We all have flaws, though.
I would like you to express.
I got abandonment issues with the best of them, and I got great stories behind it.
See,
the next time that Dr. Pettiford is in the building, we're gonna address Matt Raz, Ben Hameen, A King, and Just Blaze.
No problem.
There you go. Guys, another show in the can. That's another show in the can.
Breathe deep.
Internets. Let's focus. Internets. We're going to A3C this week. Are we gonna be live on there?
That's the intent. A3C is working on the technical aspect of it, but lo and behold, it'll definitely be podcasted thereafter.
Matt Raz is having loss issues.
It's not that
with his new segment.
No, the only reason why I'm saying that because no, it's not. But I'm just giving the.
But if they can't figure it out, if they can't figure it out, we can.
We'll figure it out.
There you go.
We'll figure it out. Internet, make your way to Masquerade. Is it the Masquerade Theater?
Yes, it's the Masquerade, the Guitar Center stage.
Oh my goodness!
It's gonna be
you guys gonna be in for a great show. Killer Mike, DJ Drama. DJ Drama's out of jail.
Well, he wasn't in jail.
Didn't he go to jail because he was selling Wheezy mixtapes?
Well, he got his stuff.
He got out. He got out.
Stuff confiscated.
He got out. Okay.
Yeah.
See, he got out of jail.
DJ Drama.
All right. DJ Drama, freshly out of jail, freshly from the heavyweight fight between Rick Ross and Young Jeezy. Fresh from everything. DJ Drama, fresh to death. Incredible show. Get ready for combat.
Special surprises too.
Next week is our 100th show.
Wow. Oh wow!
Next week is our 100th show.
Wow.
We got to have a big episode. We got to have some celebrity here. We got to blow it out. But we'll talk about that when we're traveling. Yo, thank you once again, Dr. Pettiford. Everybody,
welcome.
Thank you, Dallas. Premium, thank you, Premium. Thank you, man.
Thank each of you.
Just Blaze.
No, he didn't say
Matt
speak.
Raz.
He just said thank you.
Hey, you shut up over there before, okay?
Ben Hameen,
I'm gonna bring you somewhere and I'm gonna leave you. Keep fucking with me.
You're gonna abandon
Oh, that's awful.
I'm like, you want to go to the Wingstop? Okay. See you later, Dallas.
And on
I'm gonna leave you first.
Internets, it's time to leave y'all. And on that note, dream them dreams and man up and live them dreams, because a life without dreams is black and white, and the universe flows in technicolor and surround sound.
Wow.
NEWMANTi.
NEWMANTi.
www.pncradio.fm